Alright, so this is a tutorial for making an ad using Dreamweaver. So I already opened up Dreamweaver, but obviously you would just double click on this. I'm using 2014, there's 2015 out now. So what it's going to do is it's going to ask you for, now you don't have to use Dreamweaver, you can use text edit like we have been, or WordPad, or I was using Sublime Text at home because I don't have WordPad at home. But I'm just going to do it in Dreamweaver because we're starting to use Dreamweaver and you'll get used to it. So when this comes up, just under Create New, just click on HTML. Now you're going to notice it's going to pop up, and again, we've been doing this all manually, it actually puts all the main stuff in there already for you. So I apologize ahead of time actually for my voice, a little under the weather. So puts all that in there for you, which is pretty awesome. Now what I'm going to do before I even start messing with this is I'm going to go up to, I'm going to go up to where it says modify. I just realized you guys can't actually see up here. And then it's going to say page properties, or Command J. Now what this does is it's going to make the styles for us in general. Right now it's on default, right? It's whatever the browser decides, which is not a good way. It's best not to leave anything up to the browser. So I'm just going to go down the line here and just make some changes. So default font, I can choose one of these if I want. I'm just going to do Gotham. I'm going to say make sure it's normal, and we're going to say normal. Okay, so it's just normal. Size, I'm gonna go 14. Text color, just gonna make sure it's black. Background color, we'll go, let's try that again. I'm gonna make it like a really light gray. Background image, I'm not using one, thus we're also not doing that. Now margin here, what I like to do is type in 0 for all of these. So what that means is that it's not going to put spaces around things by default. You'll notice, like if you type a paragraph, you type another paragraph, there's a slight gap between them. It's because it has a margin in them. I'm going to click on the HTML appearance, and I'm just going to see if there's anything in here. The CSS should overrule this anyway, but I just want to make sure that everything's on the up and snuff here. So it looks like there's nothing I need there. So links, I can choose a different style. Right now it says same as font, that's fine. Size could be fine, but I think link color, I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. So I'm going to say for mine, I'm just going to make it like, oops, not real. Okay, I'm going to make it, what would be nice? Let's say, make it like this color. I think that'll look cool. All right. And visited links, it means if they've already clicked on the link and then they went back, what it's going to look like. And I'm just going to go ahead and make it like this. Okay. Always underline, never underline. I don't want the links underlined. Headings, I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm just going to let the default headings be as they are. Title and coding, that's all fine too. This is basically standard. Well, I can put the title in here instead of having to write it up here. You'll see when I write it here, it actually will change up there. So we're going to say cone, oops, I must have caps lock on. I do. Cone advertisement. Okay. And that seems great. Tracing, not worried about that. And I hit OK. All right. And you'll see it actually put in the style stuff. I didn't even have to type it. And when I go to do this, it'll actually, when I type my stuff in later here inside this body chunk, and I can still put my own stuff in here too, but it just kind of did some of that by default. It should work pretty well. Okay, so the other thing I can do here, and this is really what the difference is between using just a text editor and using this, is that this is a WYSIWYG. So what it means is I can click on the split, and on this side, it's going to show me what I'm doing. So this is like a preview, which you already know this, but I'm just putting that anyway. Okay, so I want to make like an advertisement, so I'm picturing that I'm going to actually make a div right off the bat. Okay, and I'm just going to call it div, and we're going to do an ID, and I'm just going to call it whole ad. Okay. And then I'll just go ahead and put the closing too. You'll notice as soon as I put that backslash, it fills in the rest of it, which is awesome. And then everything's going to go inside of this. And this way I can, specify what I want in there specifically. All right. So right off the bat, I'm going to hit tab to come in. And oops, I'm going to make it an H1. and we're going to say Cone Productions. All right, it's important that you say it like that. All right, you notice every time I hit the backslash, it automatically does the ending, the closing tag, which is awesome. So Cone Productions, and then I'm going to put an, we're going to say an H3, okay, H3, and we'll say your one-stop shop for multimedia, okay, and we'll do a H3, good. Now if I click in here, you'll actually see it'll pop up, which is pretty awesome, okay. And then I'm just going to do a couple of P's, okay, and we're going to say fast, okay, fast, quality, P, and awesome. Oops. Boom, good. So if I click in here, you'll see fast, quality, awesome. All right. Now the other thing I would like to have is actually a picture over here. So I can type it like I normally would, which is probably what we'll do in class. And you'll see it'll start to pop up, and then when you hit enter, it's actually going to look for the thing. So actually, I'm going to undo that real quick because I should have done this first. So I'm just going to minimize this. I'm just going to make a folder like we normally do, new folder. And so click on here, hit enter, and we're going to call it Cone Advertisement. All right, I'm going to double click on that, open it up, make some new folders, right click new folder. We're going to call this images, right? And then we're going to right click new folder and CSS, or actually, sorry, styles. Okay. And then I'll put my images in here, and I actually forgot to grab my image off my thumb drive, so I'm going to pause this for a second. So I just made sure inside my images folder I have this cathedral. Now before I can actually set up the images, I need to actually save this. So I'm just going to do File, Save As, because otherwise you got to remember it's a relative URL, so it's got to look. So I'm going to go to Desktop, Cone Advertisement, and we're just going to save this as index, because this is in a sense a home page, and let's save. Okay, now when I go to do this, and I go to do an IMG, and hit enter, oh, I thought it would pop up the thing. Okay, well, SRC for source, click on source. All right, it's acting a bit crappy. Hang on a second, let me do it again, because it should just pop right up. All right, IMG, yep, okay, SRC. Hit enter. Yep, see now it says browse. Click on that, and it's going to go right to here. I'm going to go to my images, cathedral, and open. And then just make sure that we write an alt. Yep, and then and if I just hit enter, it'll automatically pop open and do the quotes and everything, which is really nice. And I'm going to say actually, this was what was this called? Oh, Our Lady of Mercy Basilica. Okay, and let's do this to close it, and we are good on that. So now if I click over here, you'll see that we have this image here, and I have all the parts I'm going to say that work for me. Okay, so now what I need to do is just make this work as an ad overall. Okay, so first things first, what I want to do is actually get this kind of up on the top here, and kind of go from there. So now because this is the only image, this actually makes it a bit easier, and you can make yours more complicated. I'm just trying to do this in a simple way so that you don't have as much stuff to concern yourself with. And you can see I'm just trying to keep everything nice and even. So I'm going to go up here, and right after the last one for the links, I didn't even make any links, I'm going to go ahead and put an IMG, so it'll look for the image, which will be this one, and then I'll do an opening, and then we're going to say position. Good. And you can see when I hit enter, it brings up all the options here. And we're going to just go ahead and click on absolute, okay, which basically means that it'll put it exactly where I put it, where I want it. And then I'm going to put, hang on one second. Okay, sorry. Okay, so after I do that, I'm just going to put it so it's absolutely up and to the left. So I'm just going to write left. Okay, you see left will come up, and then it brings up this, but I just want 0px, 0 pixels. Okay, and we're also going to do top. Okay, and we're also again going to do 0 pixels. Okay, and that should, I'm just going to go ahead and save it, click over here. You'll see now it gets shoved up and over. Okay, now the other thing I need to do is, if you look, because it comes after, it actually goes over top of our other part here. So in order to fix that, I'm actually going to change the Z index of it. I could also just put it above this, and that would work as well, but then this would be underneath it. I don't really want that. So I'm also going to, actually we'll do it after, oops, there we go. We'll do this after this. So I'm just going to, just for the sake of showing you guys, Z index, and we're going to go ahead and put it 0, okay? Good. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to put another div here. I'm going to call it div ID, and we're going to call it text, which isn't really a good name for a div, but it'll have to do. I'm going to grab all of these and just tab these in, and then do my closing div here. Back this up, boom. Or actually, I already knew to do it. Good. And then make sure that this is backed up here so it's in line with the other one. Just makes things a little bit easier. Okay, good. So I'm going to use that text and put that above. So you can watch here. Now I'm going to do the hashtag. And when I hit that, it automatically knows there's 2 in there. There's whole ad, which is what I put in the one, and then text. I'm going to select text. I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to say Z index. And we'll just put 1. And that should... we'll just go ahead and say that, click that. All right, hang on one second. Let's try doing 10. Oh, you know why? Z index doesn't work without position, so I have to do position. Actually, when I start writing, it should show up position. It's not showing up. Okay, here we go. And this one, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go fixed, which basically means that it'll move with the browser there. Okay, and I'll say that again. Click here. All right, it's still not doing it. Hang on a second. Actually, this is a great example of something. So I want to show you is the reason why it wasn't happening. So when you click in here, it should update. Okay, let's do split. And then if I have this in design, it doesn't preview exactly 100%. If you click live, it'll actually be live and it's more accurate. It's like a newer view. That actually put it on there correctly. So I'm just going to leave live on. That's why it wasn't working. I was kind of curious as to what was going on there. Okay, so the other thing I need to do is this image is also too large. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fix that as well. Generally speaking, you should make your images the right size to begin with. But in our case, I'm just going to do it superficially because it's good to do. So we're going to do height and good. And I am going to say, actually, we're going to do width. Okay, and then we're going to make that, let's say 720 pixels, and let's see what that looks like. S, click in here. Okay, it's a little better. Now you'll notice it'll automatically, if you only put one of these in, just width or just height, it'll keep it proportionate. If you do width and height, you could accidentally kind of scale it in a way you don't want it. Okay, this image is also a bit overly saturated, so I would actually want to take this down a notch and make it not so much, but in our case I'm just trying to whip this out fast. So okay, good. So I got my text, I got my position, Z index. Okay, so now I actually need to move these over. I am actually going to do this individually, so I'm going to show you how to do this now. We're going to do, watch this, I'm going to do hashtag text again, but then I'm going to say the H1, and I'm also going to say same thing again, text, and I'm going to say H2, so it's the child, H3, sorry, and we are going to, you know what, actually I'm not going to do it that way, we'll do it this way, this would be better. I'm going to, oops, we're just going to make another div in here again, div, and we'll do ID, we're going to equal to title, okay, grab these. I'm just going to hit tab to tab them in.